Hey, I'm Scott Spencer from Scott's Rides, and you're listening to the Gearheads and Gasoline podcast.
Like foods and drinks. So my first SEMA show was 2014, and I went by myself, and I didn't know anybody. My husband stayed home because he had to work, and I just was going through the different events, and you can sign up for different educational events and stuff like that. And I saw the SBN events, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool. So I attended those events, and I have every year since. And it's so nice because there's not a lot of women like us. But we're just spread out, So when we can get together at the SEMA show, it's like, these are my people. And it just feels good. And I love to hear different perspectives and meet these very interesting, creative, amazing women. And so being part of the SBN network has, I think, been life-changing. It's helped shape my career.
Welcome to the Gearheads and Gasoline podcast, where we dive into the high-octane world of market-leading shop owners, shop employees, and automotive enthusiasts from the aftermarket, restoration, performance, and racing industries. So strap in as we take you on an awesome journey with our guests as they share their real-life stories, lessons learned, business advice, and unfiltered insights to help you beat the school of hard knocks. Gearheads and Gasoline, fueling your success.
Everyone, and welcome back to Gearheads and Gasoline, powered by Redline Oil and AMD. I'm Barry Alt with Motorhead Digital, and joining me as co-host today is Katie Abraham from Ironman 4x4. Today, we're excited to welcome Cora Jokinen, owner of torq-masters Industries, to the show. Hey, Cora.
Hi. Thanks.
Cora, welcome.
Good to see you, Katie.
Good to see you.
Great to have you on. We've been going back and forth for a while, and you are a busy lady. So,
yeah, all over the place. Well, to kick us off, we have our favorite question that we like to ask, and it is, I think I know the answer, but we'll see. If you were a beverage, what would you be?
Spindrift.
Oh, that's not what I was guessing. I was going to guess a margarita.
It is Cinco de Mayo today, the day we're recording.
Huh?
Today is Cinco de Mayo.
It is. It is. And it's my big Fenrir boy's birthday today. It's always easy to remember. But Spindrift. I do love Spindrift. What's your favorite flavor?
Grapefruit.
I
have no idea what that even is.
It's seltzer water, but they use a little bit of real juice. So it's not artificial and it's not too bubbly. Like Polar is a little bit too bubbly.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And it's not like they took a piece of fruit and just like dipped it in there. It actually has some flavor to it.
Right?
Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised.
I was going to grab a Corona out of the fridge, but it was like, man, it's too early for beer. So I have blueberry tea today. So and they didn't just dip the blueberries in. It's pretty good actually. So
I just got new coffee in. We are big fans of Black Rifle coffee, and so tried some new stuff because they've got their buy one get one free thing going on right now, FYI. So go get you some good coffee.
Have you ever tried Gearhead coffee?
Yes. I think so.
They have one with pecan, and I can't even remember what they have all these cool names for them and everything that I really like. But anyways, Cora, I understand that you actually went to school to be an architect. That's a big shift from architecture to the automotive aftermarket. Tell us how you went from that to that.
Well, off-roading and welding and fabricating, those were my hobbies. That's what I was doing on nights and weekends.
Nice.
But yeah,
Is that how you met your husband? Or
yeah, yep. I was president of our local 4x4 club at the time when he joined. And that's how we met, was through off-roading.
cool. And that's a local club. You're actually like 30 minutes from me. So that's a local club in the Finger Lakes, right?
Yeah, it's called Finger Lakes 4x4 Club. And it's actually 43 years old.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, and I've been in the club almost 21 years.
That's so cool.
It's interesting because, I mean, I'm dating myself. Back in the 80s, I had a K10 four-wheel drive truck. We lifted it, put 40, was it 33s on it back then, right? Because the Chevys have the square wheel well, so you couldn't get real big tires on it. But we went four-wheeling and into mud bogs and stuff like that. But I'd never heard of the Finger Lakes Club, which is weird because I live in the area. I only heard of it once I've been, connected with you online. And
Well,
go ahead.
You might have heard of it in the 80s because we did a rebranding a few years ago. So the club's original name is Mud Nuts 4x4 Club.
Okay, there you go. I've heard of that.
Awesome.
But yeah, I remember pulling trucks out, getting my truck stuck, going, I don't know if I want to play in the mud anymore. Because that was back in the day when you had big, just mud. You just drove through, turned a pond into a mud pit, basically.
Yeah.
But I own 2 4-wheel drives. I got one that Rebelle that's lifted. And I would really love to pick up a Jeep and do everything that you guys did to your Jeep. We were out to your shop last year, and that's a cool vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have a couple Jeeps.
That's right. Yeah, you do, don't you? Yeah, right. You had the one outside, and you had the one in the shop that had the LS in it and stuff. I like the one with the LS in it. And
Everybody likes the one with the LS in it. What are you talking about?
And that one is getting 42-inch tires this year.
Ooh. What tires are you going to go with?
Milestar.
I understand, Katie. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Katie.
No. Well, I was just going to go on to one of the next questions, but you have a separate question.
I have a 4-wheel drive question for you. I understand that this past week you almost had a little issue.
Me? Oh.
Well, maybe not an issue, but almost
Not
an
issue. I went down to Oris Adventure Park in Texas for a women's event and went as a guest instructor for their Stage 5 clinic. And it took the 4Runner, my 2005 4Runner that's on 33s, and took it on the trails where the minimum tire size is supposed to be like 37s. And did all of it. You just got to pick the right line. Definitely smacked my bumpers and skid plates and sliders a lot, but that's what they're there for. But went up this cliff side wall thing, and there's some super sketchy video. But it was cool because we have video from up above where most everybody else that had already gone, because I was the tail gunner, was standing. And then we have video from one of the spotters down behind me who was wearing meta glasses. And then I have the video from inside that is looking forward and also the two-way watching me. So we have every single angle of this climb, and each one of them is so sketchy in a different way. Because like looking down at it, you just see the belly of the vehicle and the tire going up, and then it's like completely vertical and you're like, ah. And then from behind, same thing. You're like, oh my God, this truck looks massive. And then from the inside, all you see is people like straight up and down. And then slowly but surely they like X across. And you're like, wait a minute. That's
Doesn't
not
look
the
right.
way the earth is supposed to be. And then sky. So I'm hoping to be able to put together like side by side compilation to line the timing up of what it looked like. But
I want to see that.
I might have to enlist the help of a much more advanced video editor to make all that happen. So, but yeah, it was super cool. And Cora will have to get down to Maris sometime because it's a super cool park if you haven't been.
I haven't.
They have 5,500 acres.
Oh, nice.
And it's all through the Palo Duro Canyon. So it's like a wide variety of things, but super cool place. So, what got you into automotive aftermarket originally? Was it the club there that you found or meeting your husband?
So what really got me into it, I don't know if you'll remember, in the early 2000s, the Nissan Xterra came out and I was like obsessed with their marketing. It totally like blew me away. Because I was into mountain biking, I was into whitewater kayaking, I was into all the adventure sports, and that's what they were really marketing towards. And I was like, I have to have one of these. And eventually I did buy one. And then I would take that where I went mountain biking. And then, just more adventuring with it and did harder and harder trails and then wanted to modify it. And so when I was in undergrad, my dad's secretary's husband built Jeeps on the side. And so one Thanksgiving break, I saved up and bought everything I could for the Xterra. But there were some things that either I couldn't afford or were not available because it was such a limited market. So he took me under his wing, taught me how to weld. We went to the scrapyard. We got drops to make rock sliders, and we made our own rear bumper. And I made my own skid plates. This thing was a tank when we were done. Like you could blow up a bomb underneath it and it would survive. But yeah, that's what got me into it. And after doing some welding, I wanted to learn more, and not to his fault, but he wasn't the greatest teacher. So I wanted more formal schooling. So then I took welding classes. So I took like a 6-week TIG class, and MIG's easy. So that was just a weekend course. But yeah, that's what got me into Miller welders too. Those were the first machines that I used, and I'm very loyal to my Miller welders.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something on my list, is to take a formal course for welding, because same thing, like MIG is, you can do a trail repair and it's no problem. But, being able to have it as an actual skill like you do just takes a lot more dedication and time. So I got to fit that in somewhere.
Yeah, we took, Keith and I, one of my team members last year, went to a weekend course, a 1-day course at, up in Henrietta, Cora, there's a welding school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't Rochester Arc and Flame?
Yeah, it's Arc and Flame. Yeah.
Okay. That's in Spencer.
Yeah, it was yeah, they were really good. We took the MIG course and everything. I want to go back, do TIG. So that was fun. I learned.
Yes.
Because it's such a, I don't know, the seat time thing. Like the process of it isn't exactly difficult, but it definitely is like, you just have to practice and keep doing it. That's what one gal told me. She was like, you don't really need to go to class since you already, have the principles down. She was like, you just need to sit in your garage and practice. And I was like, yeah, there's a lot of things I need to do in my garage though. Clean it.
Yeah, I hear that. That's the same with me. I have to, I got a multi-purpose type machine that does MIG stick. It has a plasma cutter on it, which is pretty awesome.
Cool.
I've used both I used the MIG and I've used the plasma cutter about a year ago. I don't do it enough. So every time I turn it on, I go, yeah, remember how this thing works. But we'll figure it out. It's really cool to learn that. We learned stick welding in high school, took welding class, but that's back in the day. That's all we had, right? That
Yeah.
and acetylene torches, brazing, things like that. But Cora, how do you go from an architect to getting an automotive aftermarket to owning a business like torq-masters?
So I got into off-roading and then joined the club. And I had a 1980 CJ7 on 36-inch tires and an AMC 360 V8. So that was pretty cool. And joined the club when I had the Jeep. I had already moved on from the Xterra. And we would just, as a club, we'd go off-roading maybe like once a month. And then the park we went to a lot was Roush Creek down in Pennsylvania. And they started doing amateur rock crawling competitions. And so my husband and his buddy did it in his Jeep the first year. I did it in my Jeep with a friend from the club. And then the next year, Eric and I joined up together and we were newly dating. And we did the amateur rock crawling series in my Jeep. And I was the driver and he was the spotter. And there's nothing like relationship building when he's holding onto you with a strap and you're, driving on the side of a comp course and he's trying to hold you from rolling over. And
Yep.
Wow.
so,
Yeah, that is so true. If you ever want to test your relationship, one, go on a trip together, but then next level, like boss level, is go on a off-roading trip together.
The Gearheads and Gasoline podcast is proudly sponsored by Redline Synthetic Oil. With a legacy of excellence and over 100 premium products, Redline provides motor oils, gear oils, assembly lubes, fuel additives, and water wetter for the automotive, racing, motorcycle, marine, and industrial markets. Known for their exceptional quality and technical expertise, Redline is trusted by enthusiasts and professionals alike. Discover their full range of products and expert support at redlineoil.com.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Redline Oil, formulated to win.
Formulated to win.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
It is so true. If you ever want to test your relationship, one, go on a trip together, but then next level, like boss level, is go on a off-roading trip together in the same car with him as your spotter.
Yeah. Gotta be some trust there, right?
Yeah. Or vice versa. You as his spotter. That can be even more difficult.
So our title sponsor for my Jeep was Aussie Locker. And the owner of torq-masters, as the parent company, was in our 4x4 club. So I approached him back then. This was like 2009. I approached him to sponsor the vehicle and he was like, oh yeah, he was into it. And then fast forward to 2013, we were doing another competition. Eric and I, we dusted off our old shirts and this was like the last comp before we were going to cut up my Jeep and part it out. And he was there and he mentioned that he was kind of getting tired of working. This was like his retirement project. And he was turning 70 and kind of hinted that maybe he wanted to hire somebody to take over the day-to-day work. And so the whole ride home from that competition, Eric and I, we were talking. We're like, I was at a good place in my career that I could go out on my own, architecture-wise. And so we were thinking, like, what if we approached him to buy the company? And my husband had his own company at the same time. He was a contractor. And so we decided I would be the one to approach Bill and ask if he would sell the company. So I called him that Monday after the competition. And I said, would you consider selling the company? I have this much to work with. And he goes, okay, let's talk. And then I go, oh, shoot, now what do I do?
You didn't think he'd answer that quickly, huh?
And he said he would love to sell the company to me. And I'm like, oh no, now what do I do? So
Awesome.
it was about a year-long process to purchase the company, doing valuations, getting attorneys, getting a formal contract. And I learned a lot during the process. My husband definitely helped me because I didn't know what accounts receivables were and accounts payables. And I did have to learn pretty quick.
A lot of business stuff, right? That they don't teach in school.
Stuff. Yeah, they don't teach that in architecture school. They should, though.
Yeah, they definitely should.
Just like basic accounting, everybody should know.
It actually has helped me a lot. I thought about being an accountant for a little while and then realized that was way too boring for me. But super helpful in many, many ways in marketing and life.
Oh, for sure. I had a friend of mine just left a dealership he'd worked at for years, and he says, I'm starting my own business. I ran into him in Carlisle, and I said, look, there's 3 things that I feel are really important for you starting your business. A, get a good lawyer, get a good accountant, get a good bookkeeper, and don't try to do it all yourself. Do at least an LLC, right? And hopefully he took my advice. I haven't talked to him since, but yeah, it's not easy, especially when you didn't get any of that in school or college.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I actually got involved with a local university's incubator, and they interviewed me to see if I wanted to have an office there or have a space there, but I didn't feel like it was the right fit. But they also do all sorts of continuing education, and they invited me to a 6-week kind of mini MBA class.
Cool.
Yeah, so that definitely helped a lot. Like, what's a sales funnel? Well, I found out what it was. And so it was kind of like Shark Tank mixed with a class. So we actually had angel investors that were working with us. And every Friday we'd spend the day, and we do focus on a different aspect of a business for the whole day. And then at the end, we had to give presentations on our product or our company and kind of pitch it.
Oh, really?
That's cool.
That's cool. I think if you talk about the 3 things I mentioned, that's huge to do that because, I've been in business, had my own business since the late 90s, didn't do any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Went to the School of Hard Knocks kind of thing, right? So, and it actually, I'm sure it helped you move faster. And then for me, I learned, I had a mentor back in 2016. It took me that long to find a mentor to say, hey, here's things you need to do. Some stuff I was already doing, other stuff I'm like, oh, why the hell didn't I do that? Why didn't I know that? Well, you don't know what you don't know, but going to a thing like that, Cora, is huge. I wish I had something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, so our presentation at the end was in front of the public, basically. And a lot of people that went through this course also went to the presentation. And 2 of the local angel networks, most of their people came because they're sharks. They're looking for the next best thing, but they're also looking to mentor. And a guy came up to me after my presentation, and he's like, I'm into automotive. I used to race funny cars. Would you like a mentor? And
how cool.
Yeah. So he approached me, and we've had multiple meetings, and I check in every couple months, and it's pretty cool.
Do you still talk to him?
Yeah, he's pretty much retired now, and he's full-time in Florida, but he's on all my press release email lists and new product releases. So whenever he gets one, he hops on and checks in.
Can you mention who that is? Because I know of one funny car guy locally, but that's it.
Jim Wilmette.
Yep, that's who I thought you were talking about. Yep, his crew chief used to be from Macedon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, actually, he had years ago, he had just on 31, he had a ready building. He was selling tires, and that was one of the things. And now he had, then he went to doing stereos and things like that. And I do believe, but yeah, I have an actual signed hero card from him.
Oh, cool.
That's why I asked, because I figured it might be him. I don't know any other funny car drivers from around here.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, that's an awesome story. And you also, now you progressed farther. We went and visited your shop and your facility where you're doing manufacturers, but you also added a new business. Tell us about that, which is totally different.
It's related, definitely related. So, our buddy Ryan, who is a serial entrepreneur, developed a cast iron scuttle about 10 years ago. And it's been my primary cooking device when camping or overlanding. And I just knew we could sell it because we love it. So a scuttle, a lot of people have never heard of a scuttle. So a scuttle is a slightly dished cooking surface. Back in South Africa, plow hands or farm hands would weld up plow discs and cook over the fire with it. Scuttles became popular in the overlanding world 10 plus years ago. And our buddy developed one that's cast iron. And so it diffuses heat really well. And then he put legs on it, so it's on a stand. So you don't need a picnic table or a tailgate to cook on. And basically anything that you would cook in a pan, on a wok, on a griddle, on a grill, you can cook on the cast iron. It does come with a lid. So with that, you can make it kind of into an oven. So you can make pizzas and cookies and popcorn. But what's also unique is the cast iron can come off with 3 little thumb screws. It comes right off. And then you still have your 10,000 BTU burner on a stand. So you can put a pot on it, put a kettle, anything you would put on a camp stove, you can put on that. So it's many different ways you can cook. And we'd like to challenge each other and say, what can't we cook on this?
How do you do pancakes on that?
Just on the cast iron.
Just on what?
The cast iron.
Down and toward the middle then, because it's curved, right?
It's not super dished, just enough.
Okay, so it's not your pancakes aren't going to run down.
Right.
I'm thinking, how do you cook pancakes on it? But what's the name of it, by the way?
It's called Oris Scuttle.
Oris.
And we say Oris Adventure Cooking.
They're amazing. I told Cora, I was like, I need to get one of those because I don't have one. But anytime anyone cooks on one, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good. Makes the best hibachi because it is close enough to a wok that it cooks the right way. But I also, someone let me use it to make like a Pittsburgh style steak where you get it really hot and sear it. Oh my gosh, it was so good because the cast iron gets the proper temperature. So it's just like the perfect little tool. And doesn't it pack down really small too, because it's the telescoping legs and all of that?
Yeah, it's definitely very portable. And so I wanted to purchase this product line because we're doing a lot of overland shows and events. And with torq-masters, gears and differentials and axles are kind of scary to some people. But what I like to say is everybody eats. So we thought it would be a good addition to these shows. And we tried doing Oris and torq-masters in the same booth. And literally, we never sat down. We were talking the whole entire time. Like it was a lot. So this year we're just doing Oris at the shows and it's doing great. They're selling very well. They're paying for the booth. They're paying for the trip. You know, when people walk by and they see it, some people you just see like they get it, like they get all that they can do. And then some people walk by and they probably don't cook. because I could tell, like, when people get interested, like the couple that walks by, whoever like really looks at it, I'm like, oh, that's the one that cooks.
Yep.
They're really checking it out.
Yeah.
And you are a great marketer, and you cook peppers and onions in like butter or oil or something. And no matter how you cook those, they always smell amazing. And the smell wafts throughout the area. And like, there's been times at events where I was looking for you and you just happen to be cooking onions. And I was like, I bet that's her. But that's so smart because you're engaging someone's extra scent, and people are usually hungry at those things. And it smells amazing. So I was like, those are those little marketing things where people are like trying so hard to be successful. And it's like, just, if you're selling cooking stuff, cook with it.
Just cook. Yeah.
Cook with it. Let people smell the yumminess.
Yeah. I do breakfast all morning. And then lunch, I spread it out because the peppers and onions, I usually do a Philly cheesesteak quesadilla, which is amazing and portable. And but I cook the peppers and onions for like an hour. And just smelling it, hearing the sizzle, like it just gets people's attention.
Yep. I think there was actually Chili's Bar and Grill did like a whole study about their fajita plates and the like why they were so popular for a while was because they use those cast iron skillets to put the food on, and it like satisfies people's internal. I remember reading all about the study and just being like, that makes total sense. But funny how now it comes, into the same perspective. It's the little things. People are really pretty simple when you break it down. We like to eat.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny you say that because I'm in a number of car clubs, and the biggest thing is when we go someplace and eat. That's we're going someplace to eat, we get the most people. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Cora, Katie said something about marketing. You've been marketing both your businesses. Where do you find the most success? This is a marketing podcast. So we want to understand what works for you as far as, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Where are you seeing the most success?
For us, it's a lot of word of mouth and reputation. So we treat our customers, we take care of them. We are our customers. And so if somebody, shoots me a phone message or they need tech support on a Thursday night because they're going camping tomorrow and the Jeep's all torn apart and they're stumped, we take care of them as much as we can. So that goes a long way. And that goes more than marketing dollars, So I think that's a big thing with our customers.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to Gearheads and Gasoline. We're going to take a quick break here to share a message from our sponsor, Automotive Direct.
Hey, guys, you're watching the Gearheads and Gasoline podcast. I'm Jason with AMD. Check this out.
We are them. We see them. We are at the events. We're doing what they do. And sometimes, just seeing that makes it very relatable too. Mm-hmm. And I think being a woman, I'm a lot more approachable. So most of our customers are guys, and sometimes it's intimidating to ask maybe a silly question, so I always say
they don't want to look dumb, right? So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I say there's no stupid questions, and I just try to be approachable, and we'll work through any tech questions, anything like that, and I try to make it understandable and easy. And for tech support stuff, videos are definitely, if a picture's worth 1,000 words, a video's worth 1,000,000. And so we try to do specific install videos and talk through the different techniques and all of that to help customers.
That's huge. So quality product, great customer support, other things like video and tech documents, things like that. I remember back in the day when I bought a product, YouTube didn't exist. You had to figure it out, or you had to call the company and try to get somebody there to figure out how to do an install or troubleshoot a problem and stuff. So people, I can tell you what, people nowadays don't know how easy they have it.
I remember the instructions, the old school instructions, because I did a lot of stuff with my dad. And even just there would be pictures on instructions, but the quality was so bad, and they always printed them in black and white that you were like, I think this is this, but we'll see. And those were like the good instructions too, because they had pictures.
I remember those. Or you had to get the instructions that didn't come. Oh, you call them and say, well, we can mail you some instructions. Well, why didn't you put it in the package in the first place? But then you had to wait for that to come in to figure out what you were doing, right? Oh my God. Yeah.
You make, Corey, you make some great points, and something why marketers are so important, and good marketers, that is, because there's definitely people who think they understand marketing, but don't grasp that your product for your company isn't just your product that you sell. You are the entire product. And if you are not successful in having a valuable product across the board, it doesn't matter how much marketing dollars you put into it or what strategies you try. If you're failing at any point in that customer journey, you are automatically undercutting the work you're doing with actual marketing campaigns. And that's probably the hardest thing as a marketer, is trying to say, I can market the crap out of this, but if customers are getting pissed off, or we don't have the stock, or we don't have XYZ, then it doesn't matter. We don't have the trust, and we don't have the follow through that people expect, especially today. It's great that people have such high expectations, but sometimes, due to things like Amazon, sometimes the expectations can be really unrealistic for small companies these days. You're like, we don't have 50,000 employees. We have 5. So please bear with us.
Yeah. And I've noticed we work with a lot of different companies that sell parts. And what I have noticed is the ones that have a very finite line of parts, a lot of the parts and pieces that they sell, they've actually invented or produced or found a better way. They use them. They're the most successful, right? They don't have 10,000 products on their website. They have just a limited number, but they know everything about every one of those products and can talk to it and can support it properly. They've used it themselves, or they've installed on a build. If it's a build shop, we work with a number of shops that actually also sell manufactured parts. And that's huge. Again, like you said, Katie, having that knowledge and the use of it is huge compared to just, hey, we're just selling this and no, we've never used it or even taken it out of the box,
Yeah, we definitely fit into that category. I mean, I could buy a million things on Alibaba and just resell them, but that's not what we're about.
Yep. I totally separate, but same type of theory. When I'm in places with high tourism, like Moab, I was just in Moab, and there's tons of those little stores that have all the Moab trinkets, but they're all made in Taiwan and the Philippines and China. And I walk in and I'm just like, it's the same thing in every store. And, some people dig that stuff. They don't travel a lot. So for them, they're like, oh my gosh, look at all this stuff. But I'm the one that's like, I want something made by a local, or actually from this area.
Yeah, my wife's the same way. When we travel a lot, and she goes, I don't want something from China or wherever. I want a local artisan created.
Mm-hmm.
So we look for that.
Yep.
Have you been to the Made in Moab store?
Yes. Yes, that's where I got little knife earrings, and they're actual working pocket knives. I think I might have shown you those at More Expo. But they're awesome because they're like little personal protection earrings, if it really came down to it. But also, I've already used them a few times to open some boxes. I was like, oh, I have a knife. Yes. But I love that store. They are fantastic. And a portion of their profits goes towards preserving the local land, I think, or outdoor something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I love that too. It's just local stores that not only sell local products, but then give back to the area. Yeah, I love that place.
So I have a question for both of you. Okay. If someone like myself or one of our listeners wanted to get into off-roading, I know there's different. There's off-roading, there's overlanding where you camp and everything, and then there's rock crawling and all of that. Where would they go to understand the whole process first before they got into a vehicle? Or if they had a vehicle, where should they start? That I'm even asking for myself because I'm curious.
Well, it used to be you would go on a forum and learn and do research. But nowadays it seems more like people just go on the internet and social media and ask questions. Depending where you are, there might be a local 4x4 club, and that's always a great place to learn. And you'll find the instant community, which is really cool. And I know I've been in our club for a long time, but these are lifelong friends now. A lot of the same people have been in the club, and it's just full of good people that would give you the shirt off their back if you needed it.
Yeah. It's the same with I'm in a Corvette club. I'm in another club locally here, and it's huge. And even being part of SEMA, we're all big family. And I've got more friends through my local club, long-term friends, than I've had before that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's huge. So that's great advice. I thought about going to one of your events just to check it out, Cora, but I have this pretty truck and I don't want to get it scratched up. So I need to buy something I can not worry about.
Yeah. If you have a pretty truck, you got to get something that you don't mind not being pretty.
You can use the truck to tow your vehicle to the events.
Yes.
And then if you break it, you don't have to worry about driving 4 hours home.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yep.
So, Cora, I want to talk about your involvement in SBN. I understand that you're like 6 years and out right now, right? Are you terming out?
I'm terming out next month.
It's a sad day.
I know.
But tell us how you got involved in that and your experiences and how that kind of shaped you.
So SBN, the SEMA Business Women's Network, they host 2 primary events at the SEMA show. They host a Gear Up Girl event where we invite students to network with women in the industry. And then they host a reception where SBN members are invited to network and socialize and have some light foods and drinks. So my first SEMA show was 2014, and I went by myself, and I didn't know anybody. My husband stayed home because he had to work, and I just was going through the different events, and you can sign up for different educational events and stuff like that. And I saw the SBN events, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool. So I attended those events, and I have every year since. And it's so nice because there's not a lot of women like us. But we're just spread out, you know? So when we can get together at the SEMA show, it's like, these are my people. And it just feels good. And I love to hear different perspectives and meet these very interesting, creative, amazing women. And so being part of the SBN network has, I think, been life-changing. It's helped shape my career. It's great. So I encourage people to volunteer for the councils and networks. If you find one that fits your niche and what you're into, it's a rewarding, definitely personally and professionally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a note here. I'm on ARMO Council. Katie's on SBN Council. So we're all involved with that. One of my team members just joined SBN.
Yeah, she's on my subcommittee. And I think she's on Cora's too. She's on communications.
She signed up for 3 subcommittees, and I'm going,
that was ambitious.
What are you thinking? Nicole goes, well, try it, but you don't have to be on all of these. Communications is, I think, a big one for her because that's what she does, some of that stuff for us. But actually, Cora, that you might have got communications from Shanna through the process of the podcast. But anyways, I want to talk. Yeah, I
wanted to add just one more thing about the committees and networks. Some people in our local area and at different events started asking me all the time, how can I break in like you broke in and people, and it's so funny, Cora, my story is so much like yours. Like I got a 4Runner and found a local club, and then I started volunteering with a local off-road park, and it just spiraled out of control from there. But you've been a huge impact on my career personally, and just your friendship as well. But back around, so many people are asking me that question, and volunteering and also volunteering with SEMA is always a huge part of that. I'm like, you have to get involved and go meet people, and it's the network, it's the relationships, but then it's the showing up and all that. We talk about that. I always talk about that a lot in these podcasts. I feel like that's a common theme we always end up with, but it is the people you meet and the people you don't expect to meet. But then you do, and you're like, oh, you just changed my life in the matter of a 2-hour conversation, which is so interesting. But yeah, SEMA and the councils and networks, just absolutely outstanding people.
I think one thing, we're in the process of, we have 3 openings on ARMO, and I was having a discussion about the people that submitted, and I understand. I learned that a couple are like, first time, as soon as they read their submission, they're out. If you're going into a council or network to market your business, to grow your business, that's the wrong way to think about it, right? I mean, we all want to get visibility for our businesses. I'd be lying if we didn't say that, right? But I went into first and foremost to help ARMO because I felt that I could help them. I went in to meet other people and learn more about the industry. And like Cora said, the first time I went to the SEMA show, I was kind of lost until, I went to ARMO, one of the ARMO receptions. I met some people and things started clicking. The second year was a lot better, because you don't know what you don't know. But there's a lot of great people that will support you. And even if you're looking to just help out, there's a lot of members at large. Like I said, Shanna's a member at large. She's digging into this. She wants to learn more about the industry. But Cora, let's talk about Rebelle Rally. I know that is near and dear to both of your hearts. I want to understand that because you and I had a conversation last year when I visited about being a navigator and architecture and how they align. And I'm like going, what?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of overlap there.
Today's podcast is sponsored by Motorhead Digital. Motorhead Digital are digital marketing experts for your automotive aftermarket, restoration, performance, race, and restyling shop. They help you supercharge your shop's website, social media, and entire online presence to attract those badass customers you're looking for. Check us out at motorheaddigital.com.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of overlap there, and some of the best navigators actually have drafting experience, either just taking classes or professionally. And the reason is precision. In drafting, you're taught about different line weights. You're taught how to use your ruler perfectly so that you're not off the line and all sorts of stuff. in architecture, you need to know north is up. You need to know where you are in the building, and spatial orientation. It's the same in a building as it is with mountains. Mountains are easier. But
are they really? And explain. So I mentioned Rebelle Rally. A lot of people, I wouldn't have known about it unless I knew YouTube. Okay. Explain to people what that is and kind of how it works, because how that understanding is very important to navigate that.
So the Rebelle Rally is a world-class event. It's an all-women's rally raid. It takes place over 10 days. There's no GPS, and everything is manually plotted and navigated. And there's two types of competition, basic competition. There's plotting your checkpoints, getting from A to B to C to D and keep going. And then there's also the road books and enduros. So that's the gist of it. The first year, what was the first year? 18?
16?
Okay.
Wait, yeah, 10. Yeah, because 2025 was 10 years. So
we did King of the Hammers both years, 16 and 18. Yeah. And yeah, you're going to meet the most amazing women on the Rebelle. They're all adventurous. They're all competitive. And they're all pretty smart.
Yeah. And I think another trait they all have is resilience, along with that competitive nature, adaptability, really being able to maintain calm while working through these sometimes impossible situations, especially if you've complicated it yourself through whatever. There's so many different layers of opportunity to make a small misstep that can put you off, miles and miles. But the resiliency is a huge one. Makes me forget sometimes that is not as common of a trait as you would think, because I'm always surrounded by people like you now. And so I feel like my perception is skewed, and I'm like, oh no, you can go do it. And people are like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah, it's no big deal. And they're like, this is a huge deal. And I'm like, sorry, my perception is extremely skewed right now. But if you think it's no big deal, then, you can totally do it. Just don't think about it too hard.
And it's my understanding too, that you have this map and you can take actually different routes to the same checkpoint, I guess.
Sometimes.
But yeah, sometimes, right? And I think you were telling me if you're point A and you need to be to point B, and there's this highway that goes through, you can't use that highway. And you have to figure out how to get around it to get to your point. I don't know if I explained that right. But the maps also don't have certain things on them that you have to figure out.
But the maps, they make their own maps, and the maps specifically have very little information, and the lines are super faint. So it's hard to tell a topo line from a dirt road. And they do that on purpose.
Yeah.
So it's
the map isn't there to be a step-by-step map. It's there to be a reference tool for heading and distance and terrain association.
Now, both you done just the navigation part, or have you driven?
So
I've done both.
Yeah.
Which one's the best to do?
Both.
Both, yeah. Well, I like navigating.
The answer to ask that question different. If you picked one.
I don't think I could pick one, because navigating is like tough, but driving is tough too, because you have to be on the entire time, unless you happen to be transiting, and there is a little bit of highway sometimes, just because not all the areas are completely connected off-road. That's just the reality of today. But one place I absolutely love to drive is the dunes. If anyone's like, hey, do you want to drive in the dunes? I will be the first one to be like, yes, pick me.
You had a video. I think you just posted a video.
Yeah, they
because I
tagged.
commented on it because that looks so cool.
Yeah, Rebelle tagged us in it. It was Lisa and I, and I was driving because I love the dunes so much. Actually, that picture above me, my little head here, is from this year. And that's a big dune that I'm on, and then that's a bigger dune that we're in.
Where is that?
Huh?
Where is that?
It's the Imperial Sand Dunes in Glamis, Southern California, just probably 15 miles north or so of the Mexico border, or 30 miles, something like that. It's right there. You can see Mexico from the dunes. But it's the sand dunes where they've actually filmed like some Star Wars movies and things, because it's just massive, like 5 to 10 story tall dunes when you get out into the big stuff. Obviously, we don't go out there because you don't want to take a full-size vehicle out into that sand because it's so soft. And our vehicles are too heavy. But you get in there. Like, there's definitely, that was one where everyone was sitting up on a hill behind us, and we were all kind of standing there like, and then I saw a path and I was like, we could do that. And 2 other people went ahead of us. One of them was Nina Barlow, and then Mandy and Alex, who they've competed a lot as well, and chose a little bit different line. But anyways, it's, you kind of stand out there and you're like, the dunes are very intimidating, but if you know how to drive them, then they are so fun because it's so soft, and it's like you're surfing, instead of being on rocks where you're getting pounded and bumpy. This is just,
it feels like skiing to me.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
And you get to go fast.
And
like
you have
to, yeah. You have to get good flotation on the sand or you will sink.
So going fast is good. Low tire pressure, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, Cora, you were heavily involved with SBN, and I want to talk about youth engagement with SBN and yourself and your thoughts on that, because at my business in Gearheads and Gasoline, we talk about that in every episode, because we'd like more people to come into the industry. We'd like them to not be intimidated by the industry. But we'd also like other businesses to embrace younger people, because if we don't, businesses are going to die.
So you just have to go to your local car show. You're going to see that the younger generation is there. They are into it. They may not be restoring classic cars, but they're into modifying vehicles and having fun. We at SBN try to engage younger ladies that are students to come into the SEMA show for the student days. And we host the Gear Up Girl event, which is great. And a few years ago, I kind of saw the younger people were just sticking together. They weren't really engaging. So I came up with an icebreaker of a bingo card for all the girls. So on the bingo card, it says, talk to each one of these people to get a bingo line. So one of them, talk to a CEO, talk to a marketing manager, talk to a painter, talk to a fabricator. And so that really helped them break the ice.
Did they have to go find those people at the show and like read their badges and try to learn what they were?
At the event, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
So it's a good icebreaker. It gets everybody talking, gets them talking to us. And they have to engage, what's your name, who you work for, what is your job title? And then that way it really breaks the ice. And then once you find a person or two or somebody you really wanted to talk to, you can talk to them even more and engage more.
Right. Gotcha. Because one of the biggest struggles within the industry is a lot of the high schools and things don't have even shop class, or I don't have business school anymore. Half the time. I don't know what they're teaching in school, but it's what's your recommendation on people talking to young people at the car shows and say, hey, think about this or that. If you get into a conversation with a young person that says, hey, I love this stuff, how do we get involved or whatever?
Yeah, I would encourage them to reach out to their local college. And out here we have BOCES school, which my husband attended, and that set him off to a great career. But I lost my train of thought. Oh, shop classes. So anytime a shop teacher reaches out to us for a product, for a build, I'm 100% in. And I also want to talk to the class and tell them my story and how we got here and encourage them to pursue a career in the automotive industry and power sports too.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome because we support Wayne Finger Lakes BOCES, the WTCC, the Wayne Technical Career Center within BOCES in the body shop right now. We're working with those students and they're amazing, especially here in Wayne County. They actually have a full functioning body shop that works like a regular body shop. Some other, I'm understanding some other programs aren't like that, which is kind of sad because the kids don't understand the real world when they go to work for a restoration shop or dealership or whatever. And we've also been talking a lot to them about all the other opportunities within the automotive aftermarket, because a lot of people go, I don't know if I want to, stand on bodies all my life, but I love the industry. How many other opportunities are there out there, from marketing to back office stuff to ordering parts and things like that? So I got one last question for you, unless Katie has anything else.
No, I don't think so.
So we know you love to cook and you love food, but what's the deal with pickleball? I'm kind of interested in that, but I also had a friend that broke her wrist playing pickleball. So.
Injuries can happen, but yeah, I think it's important to balance your life, to have your job that you're passionate about, but also have some volunteering that you're passionate about, and also have activities that you like to do and to stay healthy. And that's kind of a side effect of pickleball is the exercise. But it does give a good sense of community. And it is super fun. So yeah, I play pickleball a lot. And it's—
Are you able? Cool. I with pickleball, let me ask you this, because I'm a competitive shooter, right? And there's some exercise there, but I know that, you talked about getting outside of your everyday work or job or whatever to do that kind of thing. When you're playing pickleball, can you turn off everything else and just focus on that?
Absolutely. I don't check my emails. My husband knows if there's an emergency, call the facility and they'll put out an announcement or something, But
Okay, cool. You answered the question like I was hoping you would, because when I shoot competitively, I don't look at my phone. I'm very focused. I don't think about what's going on in the business or issues or the next podcast or anything. And a lot of it's just, hey, you want to have fun, you want to do well. In what we're doing is a huge safety factor there too. But there's a lot of other things that people can do outside of their business that they should get out and do that will give you a break from the everyday stuff that you're dealing with, right? Cool. That's awesome. I'm glad there's, I never thought much more about that because I knew how it affected how I was in the shooting sports, but that's why I wanted to ask you that, because it's kind of the same. And I'm sure there's other things out there that's like that. So we're going to do a speed round. I have 4 questions. I'm going to ask you, and I want you off the top of your head. Don't think too much about them. Okay. The first question is, what's your favorite driver or team, hot rod, muscle car, or truck?
Levi Shirley. He's a great guy, great family. And we've helped them at King of the Hammers a couple of years, and just great all around good person, good driver.
He's a driver, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. What's your favorite tool in your toolbox?
My welder.
I just figured that might be what you'd say. Do you have a favorite racetrack, automotive event, or car show?
Now I'm thinking too hard. My favorite event would be Rebelle Rally.
Yep.
That's awesome. Are you planning to do that again in the future?
Kind of a loaded question.
Yeah, she is. In some fashion.
Yeah.
Cool. Last question. What's the best advice you've received and from whom?
Well, since we're on the subject, actually, I don't know who said it, but the one that I try to think about daily is do the hardest thing first. That'll, just make everything easier from there. But another quote is Emily Miller, and I'm blanking on it. Can you help me, Katie? If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, I've heard that one before for sure.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Thank you, Cora, for joining us. Can you tell the listeners how to get a hold of you, how to contact you, how to search you out?
Yeah. So our two main websites is torq-masters.com, torq-masters.com. And then our Oris Adventure Cooking is skottle.com, skottle.com. And we're on social media.
Social media, LinkedIn or anything like that?
I don't really do LinkedIn.
LinkedIn person. Cool. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us on the show today. We're Gearheads and Gasoline, where we're fueling your success.
We know you don't want to miss an episode, so don't forget to smash that bell so that you get notified of every new episode. Click that like button, leave us a comment, and share with your people. And visit us repeatedly. We love it.